Hello everyone, welcome back to session 5 of this very important chapter called Principles of Inheritance and Variation. What did we learn in session 4 of this chapter? We learnt about the dihybrid cross, then we learnt about the incomplete dominance followed by the blood groups. What are we going to study in this very important session, session 5 of this chapter? We are going to study about what is chromosome, what are genes, then what is linkage and what is recombination with suitable examples. Moving on to the first concept of this session called chromosomes. All of us know chromosomes play a very great role in a human body. They are nothing but the carriers of genes, and genes are nothing but the units of heredity. Now let us see what is the exact difference between the chromosomes and the genes. Here you can see the chromosome. Hope all of you know that the chromosomal number is constant for a particular species. So the nucleus of a cell will have balanced set of chromosomes. As you know, the unbalanced set of chromosomes will lead to abnormalities or anomalies, or otherwise we use the word called syndromes. Now what is the difference between the gene and the chromosome? As you know, genes always occur in pairs. So also the chromosomes occur in pairs. So this also occur in pairs. Right. Segregate during the gamete formation. Here segregate during the process of gamete formation. Gamete formation. Whereas the chromosomes segregate during meiosis. So here they segregate during meiosis. And only one of each pair is present in the gamete. Here only one of each pair is present in the gamete. In chromosome also only one of each pair is present in the gametes. And here the alleles segregate or separate during the process of gamete formation. So the pairs separate, assort independently. Here the pairs assort independently. Here also the pairs assort independently. So once again, what are chromosomes? Chromosomes are nothing but the carriers of genes. And what is a gene? Gene is nothing but a unit of heredity which is responsible for the transfer of the characters or the traits from the parents to the children. So what is the exact difference between a gene and a chromosome? Genes, all of you know that genes always occur in pair. A pair of gene is called as an allele, as you have already come across in the previous session. So genes always occur in pair. So also here the chromosomes occur in pair. They are never found in single. Then they separate or segregate during the process of gamete formation. Here they separate or segregate during the process of meiosis, and only one of each pair is present in the gamete. Here also only one of each pair is present in the gametes. Alleles, or what you call the pairs, assort independently. Here also the pairs assort independently. Right, hope you have understood. Already I told you they separate during the process of meiosis. Chromosomes separate during the process of meiosis, and the particular position of the gene on the chromosome, as you know, it is called locus. The genes are located or situated on the chromosomes in one particular region where we use the word called locus. Now let us move across a very important theory called chromosomal theory of inheritance. You can see two very important scientists, Walter Sutton and Theodore Boveri. So this theory was put forth by Walter Sutton and Theodore Boveri in 1902. So this theory called chromosomal theory of inheritance was put forth by two very important scientists by name Walter Sutton and Theodore Boveri in 1902, and it was confirmed by T.H. Morgan in 1933. And this theory was confirmed by Morgan, T.H. Morgan in 1933. And the materials for inheritance, and we call the materials for inheritance as genes, and these genes are located on the chromosomes, and it is these chromosomes that segregate or separate during the process of gamete formation and recombine during the process of fertilization. I repeat, this chromosomal theory of inheritance was put across by two very important scientists by name Walter Sutton and Theodore Boveri in 1902. And later on, it was confirmed by T.H. Morgan. Thomas Hunt Morgan. Thomas Hunt Morgan in 1933, right? And the materials for inheritance, what we use the word called genes, is located on the chromosomes, and it is these chromosomes which segregate and assort independently during the process of gamete formation and recombine during the process of fertilization. So now let us see what was the contribution of T.H. Morgan towards the study of this chromosomal theory of inheritance. So as I said, Thomas Hunt, he was the one who paved a way for a very important study called experimental genetics. T.H. Morgan, who confirmed this chromosomal theory of inheritance in 1933, paved a way for a study of a very important new branch of biology called experimental genetics. And T.H. Morgan was called as father of experimental genetics. He was the one who paved a way for a new branch of biology called experimental genetics, and he was rightly called as what? Father of experimental genetics. And he took Drosophila, a very small fruit fly, that is Drosophila melanogaster, as his genetic model or as his genetic experimental material. And why did he say, which is, I think all of you know, Drosophila melanogaster is called Cinderella of genetics. It is called Cinderella of genetics because it is one of the main genetic model which is taken for the study of genetics, hence it is called Cinderella of genetics. So T.H. Morgan selected the small fruit fly, that is Drosophila melanogaster, which is called Cinderella of genetics, for his experimental study. Why did he select, just like John Gregor Mendel selected the garden pea for his experiment, for his hybridization experiments, in a similar way T.H. Morgan selected Drosophila melanogaster for his experimental studies. Why did he select Drosophila melanogaster as a model for his study of genetics? First and foremost reason, they could be grown on simple synthetic medium in the laboratory. So it was very easy for him to grow them in a simple synthetic medium in the laboratory. That was the first reason why he selected Drosophila melanogaster for his experiments on genetics. Second reason, their life cycle is only about 2 weeks. So he could repeat the experiment oftenly until he got the results, and that is the reason why he selected Drosophila melanogaster. That is, their life cycle is only about 2 weeks, and their single mating, the single cross, produced large number of progenies. That is, a single mating was possible for him to get large number of progenies with a single mating. That was also a very important reason why he selected Drosophila melanogaster as his experimental material. Then very important is Drosophila melanogaster exhibited sexual dimorphism. Hope we know what is sexual dimorphism. We have already come across in first chapter, that is called reproduction in organism. That is that you can differentiate the male from the female. That is, males and females can be easily differentiated. That was the reason why, that was also one reason why T.H. Morgan selected Drosophila melanogaster. So what was the first reason? That is, why did he select Drosophila melanogaster as an experimental model? They could be grown on simple synthetic medium in the laboratory. Their life cycle is only about 2 weeks, and they produce what? Large number of progenies. They produce large number of progenies, and they exhibited what? Sexual dimorphism. They exhibited what? Sexual dimorphism. That is, the males and the females can be easily differentiated. And another reason is they have many types of hereditary variations that can be seen in low power of microscopes. Low power of microscope. That was also one reason. That is, they have many types of hereditary variations that can be seen in the low power of microscope. These were all the reasons why T.H. Morgan, who is rightly called as father of experimental genetics, selected Drosophila melanogaster as his experimental model or as his genetic model. Now there is one more word which you should need to understand. What is recombination? It is the generation of non-parental gene combinations. So it is what? It is a generation of non-parental combinations, which you will understand in the coming slide what exactly is recombination. Right? Hope you have understood why T.H. Morgan, who is rightly called, and as I said, T.H. Morgan paved a way for a new branch of biology called experimental genetics, and he was called as what? Father of experimental genetics, and he selected the small fruit fly which is called Drosophila, the scientific name is Drosophila melanogaster, as his genetic model for the study of genetics. And what were the reasons? These were the following reasons why he selected. That is, they could be grown in simple synthetic medium in the laboratory, their life cycle is only about 2 weeks, their single mating produce large number of progenies, they exhibit sexual dimorphism where male and females can be easily differentiated, and they have many types of hereditary variations that can be seen in low power of microscope. Even in low power of microscope they were able to see the variations, right? Now moving on to linkage and recombination. What is linkage? Now let us understand what is linkage. So as we know, the genes are situated on the same chromosome and they are called as linked genes. And they are called as what? Linked genes. What is it? The genes are situated on the same chromosomes and they are called as what? Linked genes. And the pattern of inheritance is called linkage. And the pattern of inheritance is called linkage. That is, genetic studies after Mendel revealed that some of the genes do not follow the law of independent assortment during gamete formation. There is a slight deviation from the Mendelian study, and this is because these genes are present on the same chromosome and are transmitted as a single unit. Hence, presence of 2 or more genes on the same chromosome are said to be what? Linked genes. As I said, the genes that are situated on the same chromosomes are called as linked genes, and their pattern of inheritance is called what? Linkage. What is linkage? It is a pattern of inheritance of the linked genes is called linkage. As I said, another definition you can define linkage. It is a tendency of 2 or more genes to remain together in the original combination on the same chromosome from generation to generation. That is, linkage is what? It is the linkage is the tendency of 2 or more genes to remain together in the original combination on the same chromosome from generation to generation. That is, or linkage is the physical association of genes on a chromosome. So how do we define the word called linkage? Presence of 2 or more genes on the same chromosome is called as what? Linked genes, and the pattern of inheritance of linked genes is called linkage, or it is a tendency of 2 or more genes to remain together in the original combination on the same chromosome and from generation to generation. And as I said, the progeny will have what? Parental genetic or gene combination. So the linked genes occur in the same chromosomes and lie in linear sequence, right? Now, hope you have understood the introductory part of this very important session called linkage and recombination. So what is linkage? Genes are situated on the same chromosomes and they are called as linked genes, and the pattern of inheritance is called as what? Linkage. Now, there are 2 types of linkage. One is called the complete linkage, the other one is called incomplete linkage. So you have understood what is linkage. Then what are the 2 types of linkage? One is called the complete linkage, the other one is called the incomplete linkage. What is complete linkage? If the 2 genes are placed close together, are placed close to each other, and are inherited for number of generations is called complete linkage. So what is complete linkage? If the two genes are placed close to each other and are inherited for a number of generations, such type of linkage is called as what? Complete linkage. So what is the advantage of this linkage? Here there is no crossing over and the recombination of genes. As a result, the young ones inherit only the parental characters, but this condition is very rare. So complete linkage is quite rare in occurrence, because here there is no crossing over and recombination of genes. As a result, the young ones will inherit only what type of, so there is no recombinations here. The young ones are going to inherit only the parental characters. Hence, this condition is very rare. What is incomplete linkage? If the two genes are placed apart, far away, as they separate due to the breakage of chromosomes during gametogenesis. So what is complete linkage? What is complete linkage? If the two genes are placed close to each other and are inherited for a number of generations. What is incomplete? If the two genes are placed far apart and they separate due to the breakage of chromosomes during gametogenesis. This leads to what? This leads to the appearance of new combination. This is what T.H. Morgan tried to explain through his experiment on Drosophila melanogaster. How are the new combinations obtained and why? So as I said, what is recombination? Recombination is nothing but the progeny with non-parental gene combinations due to crossing over during the process of formation of gametes. So what is recombination? So I hope you have understood what is linkage and what are the two types of linkage. So two types of linkages. One is called complete linkage, the other one is called incomplete linkage. Then what is recombination then? The progeny with non-parental gene combinations due to crossing over during the process of formation of gametes is called recombination. And this concept of linkage and recombination is best explained by T.H. Morgan's experiment on the Drosophila melanogaster. Now let us understand what was that experiment all about and what was the observations he made during his experiments and what was the inference he got through his experiments. So this is what linkage, as I said, it is the physical association of the gene on a chromosome. Here you can see he took a wild type and a mutant type and he crossed. So what were the F1 generation? What was the character or what was the traits of those F1 generation? And later when he crossed the F1 females and with the males, what was the combination he got? All that is explained in this particular concept called linkage. As I said, what will be the percentage of the combination of the parental characters and what will be the percentage of the occurrence of the new combinants or the recombinants. Right. Linkage, as I said, what did Morgan do in his experiment? He crossed a normal wild type male having very important children. Just make note of this. He took a male, wild type male. What was the characters? Brown body and red eye. So male is what? Brown body. Male is brown body with red eye. And he crossed it with a female. He crossed it with a female with yellow body and white eye. So as I said, he selected Drosophila melanogaster as his genetic model for his study of genetics. And what did he do in his experiment? He took a male, wild type male having brown body with red eye. Then he crossed it with a female having yellow body and the white eye. So what was the observation he got during his experiment? He observed that in F1 generation, all the females were wild type. All the females were wild type. What is the nature of the wild type? That is brown body and red eye. While all the males expressed the mutant traits, that is yellow body and white eye. That means to say, what was the inference he made with this experiment? He came to the opinion that mutant traits are linked only with males. So the mutant traits are linked only to males. You don't find the occurrence of mutant traits in the female. So the mutant traits appeared only in the male. That was the inference what he got after crossing a brown bodied, white eyed, red eyed male with a yellow body, white eyed female. So in the F1 generation, what he did get? All females were wild type, that is brown body and red eye, and all the males had the mutant traits. What was the mutant trait? Here you can see the mutant trait was what? That is white eye, yellow body and a white eye, right? So here the mutant trait was transferred. So that means what was the inference he got? That the mutant traits are always linked to the only to males. Then what did he do next? Then what did he do? He took F1 females and males, the F1 females as well as what was the progeny what he got in F1 generation. Both the males and the females were crossed. And what did he get in F2 generation? Hope you know what is F1 and F2. Already you have come across. F1 is first filial generation. First filial generation. Then what is F2? F2 is second filial generation. So what did he do? He took F1 females and males and crossed. In the F2 progeny, what did he get? In the F2 progeny, he got 98.7% of parental type. I repeat. So what did he get in F2 generation? In F2 generation consisted of 98.7% of what? Parental type. What is the parental type? That is yellow bodied, white eye type as well as brown bodied and red eye type. So when he crossed the F1 females and the males, the progeny what he got in the F2 generation consisted of 98.7% of parental type, that is yellow bodied and white eye type and brown bodied and red eye type, and the remaining 1.3% consisted of new combinations of recombinants like yellow body, red eye, right? Yellow body, and actually here it was the parental type was what? Yellow body, white eye. So what was it? He got a new recombinants, that is yellow body, red eye and brown body with white eye. What was the parental type? Brown body with red eye. But here he got the recombinants, that how much percent? 1.3%, that is brown body and white eye type. So this is how he was of the opinion that the linked genes are passed on here from one generation to another generation. Now in this experiment he did one more cross where Morgan crossed white eyed and miniature wing, small wing female with a normal wild male having red eye with a normal wing. So first one was what? He took a brown bodied red eye, yellow body and white eyed. Here in the second cross, what did he do? He took white eyed and miniature wing female and a normal wild male having red eye with normal wing. So what did he get in F1 generation? In F1 generation, all the females were wild type, while the males were white miniature. As I already said, the mutant traits are inherited to the males, only to the males. But here when the F1 male and female were crossed, the F2 generation consisted of 62.8% parental type and 37.2% recombinant type. There it was different, here it is different percentage. Here it is 62.8% consisted of parental type and there 97.8 and there 1.3% were of the recombinant type. Here it is 62.8% parental type and 37.2% recombinant type. So from the above observations, what were the questions that were raised? So with all these experiments on the Drosophila melanogaster, what was the conclusions that T.H. Morgan made? How do genes get separated or recombined? Then why is the difference in the frequency of recombination in different genes? So whenever he was of the opinion that when the genes are tightly linked, then the recombination is less. That is when, so what was one opinion of T.H. Morgan? When the genes are tightly linked, less recombination. And when the genes are loosely linked, then more recombination. So I repeat, after doing this experiment, what was the opinion of T.H. Morgan? He was of the opinion that when the genes are tightly linked, then the recombinations will be less. When the genes are loosely linked, then the recombinations are more. So this is how T.H. Morgan studied about the genetics by taking Drosophila melanogaster as an experimental material. Hope you have understood this very important concept of linkage and recombination. So you have understood what is linkage and what is recombination. So what is linkage? Linkage is nothing but the genes are situated on the same chromosome and they are called as linked genes, and the pattern of inheritance of those linked genes is called as inheritance. And hope you have understood what is linkage and what is recombination. So moving on to the next session, in the coming session, what are we going to study? So continuing the remaining concepts of this very important chapter called inheritance, principles of inheritance and variation, we'll be studying about what is sex determination with different examples, and what is male heterogamety and what is female heterogametry. Right? Hope you have understood the concepts what I have explained in today's session. Till I meet you all in the coming session, thank you and goodbye.